Hi everyone. Good day. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Grow with Elegance. If you are just joining us for the first time, this is the Elegance Media Agency YouTube channel, and we have um, Elegance Media and businesses organizations make use the best use of their online platform, and we also empower people to do the same. As part of our initiative to empower people, we have the empowerment session program, and we also have the Grow with Elegance, and also the visibilities program. So for the Grow with Elegance program, we invite people who are already taking the work, who already walked through the path, who already showed up online, who already turned what they have done or what they are currently doing into landing even bigger roles, bigger opportunities. And this is like our third session. So we're going to be having more sessions. If you have anybody you want us to spotlight, please you can tell us in the comments. And today we have Ifeoluwa Ojo. Ifeoluwa Ojo is popularly known as the HR girl. I know one of the problems that most persons face in their career is the fact that they are looking forward to like landing their big job, and everybody will agree with me that the ecosystem, wherever field you are joining from now, wherever field your career is in now, one of the problem is not just you learning. You understand? You want to be a fashion designer, you want to be a tech person, you want to be a software developer, a technical writer, whatever career you have chosen for yourself. The main problem is not even you learning. The main problem is after learning, where do you want to implement it? How do you get the job? And how do you show up? How do you showcase what you have learned so far? Okay, so I'm going to bring Ifeoluwa Ojo. We have a lot of questions we're going to be asking her, and it's going to be very engaging. Hi, Ifeoluwa.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for
Hello,
joining us
everyone.
today.
Thank you so much for bringing me up.
Awesome, awesome. So, as I've mentioned before, Ifeoluwa is a passionate HR professional, and she is dedicated to building a workspace where people don't just work, where you thrive. And I think that is very important. Like people feeling valued, loved, valued, supported, and aligned with their roles and being able to like thrive while they are doing what they love to do. Because I've had the chance to like talk to lots of persons who they are doing what they love to do, but they don't know how to even try it more. They don't know how to prepare themselves for like the next opportunity. So, Ifeoluwa is here today to like answer some questions that we have regarding that. Ifeoluwa, do you want to like introduce yourself, maybe in a better way? Maybe I didn't do justice to that.
Okay, thank you very much, Motayo. My name is Ifeoluwa Ojo, like she said, popularly known as the HR girl. So HR for me is passion, and in the past 3 years, I think I've really done my own work in terms of building my career brand and also contributing to workplaces. And it's not just about doing HR, but it's actually about building cultures, like building work systems that actually work, people systems that actually work. Behind the scenes, I'm also a community manager. I have two communities I'm currently growing. One is a jobs page because I'm trying to bridge the gap between those who do not have jobs, the unemployed, and then with opportunities. And I also have a community for young HR professionals where we just come together to grow. So I think that sums me up, really.
And I think your introduction actually spotlight like some part of you, of some parts that we kind of have in common. It's always good to see like a fellow community manager and to speak with like them. So thank you so much. I know it's not easy showing up for other people while you're trying to show up for yourself. Trust me, it's not easy. So for your efforts building those communities, thank you so much. For those that are watching or those that will be watching this video later, if you know, I'll be sharing the links to those communities so that you can join, be part of the community, and also benefit from what they have to offer. Okay, so if you know, let's go into your story, how it all began. What inspired you to what inspired the birth of the HR girl? Take us back to the early days, how it all started. We want to hear it.
Okay, that's very interesting because honestly, I never for once imagined that I will be called the HR girl. Right. So I mean I started showing up online actively right from my undergraduate days. And if I even actively remember, it was in December 2021. It was more like an epiphany that I need to take my life serious, you know. And then I think I attended a session and they spoke about LinkedIn, importance of LinkedIn. And I said, you know what, I'm going to join this LinkedIn and I'm going to, just see what it's like, what it has to offer me. And I think it was during that point I also found HR. Yes, I found HR. HR did not find me. I went to look for it and I found that okay, I love this, I want to do this. And at that point, I was already doing a lot of homework about the field, what it takes to be in HR, and I was loving it. And then on my WhatsApp, I would always share things like as I was learning, as I found anything, I would share on my status. I was always talking HR, and then people would just respond to my status, say, "You love HR a lot, too. HR madam, HR girl." They were just calling me different names. And then somebody said HR girl, and it just clicked that, yeah, I love the HR girl. So I mean that was how I got the name. But it started from me having a passion for human resources and then having the understanding that I wanted to build a career in this. I mean, I didn't have it all figured out, but I just knew that I wanted to build a career in human resources. And then around that period, I found LinkedIn. I started posting. I remember my first post, when I made my first post, it got a lot of engagement because I shared how I've taken courses to build my HR career, okay, things I've done while in school, because I was also kind of active in school. I was not just, a backbencher. I was active. I was in different clubs, different communities. So I've done a lot for my personal growth at that point. So I just made a post and I shared it, and then that was it. And afterwards, I would share another story. I mean, share another post. I would talk about a course I'm currently taking. So it was not like there was a plan for me to say, oh, I want to be the HR girl. I want to be. No, it was just Ifeoluwa being on a growth journey and sharing that on LinkedIn through post. I remember when I read, I think the 12 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. For every chapter I read, I was coming to LinkedIn to share my learnings. So I was like, you guys, I'm doing 12 episodes of Laws of Leadership. So when I read a chapter, I would come and say, yeah, I've read chapter one. This is what it says. This is what we should pick from it. So from there, people started resonating with the brand. I mean, whenever I attended an HR virtual session, I'll just come and share what I learned. I was not coming as a thought leader because I really did not know much in the industry. But what one thing I was doing was sharing what I was learning. And as I was sharing, the people high up were looking at me, were like, who is this girl that is posting? And then at the end of my post, I'll just need to put the HR girl and one small flower behind it. And then so whenever they saw the post, if you read through, you always see the HR girl on that, the HR. So the name started imprinting in people's mind. So I mean, that was how it all started. And I'll reach out to people. They'll say, Ifeoluwa Ojo, okay, who is Ifeoluwa Ojo? I'll say the HR girl. They'll say, oh yeah, I know you. And then that was how the HR girl just became kind of a household name, right?
Yes, it is. I went on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Your experience is actually very inspiring. I went on LinkedIn earlier today. I didn't type your name at all. I only typed the HR girl, and you came up, and that is like a wow for me. Um, so I noticed some things from what you mentioned. I like the way you said the HR career path. You found it, or it founded you, right? That was what you said. It founded you, not you found it. And this is just like speaking to a lot of other persons. I, as a community manager, I used to say I was just doing, I didn't even know what I was doing. Most people's story used to start from, I was just doing, oh, I was looking for this thing, or I wanted to go into this career path. And along the way, I started doing this thing, and that's how I find myself. So regardless of wherever your career path is, wherever situation you find yourself, just keep doing it and be very intentional about it. If Lua is going to be giving like some more insight into that. And another thing I also want people to pick from what you mentioned is the part that, and I always say this thing, when you are learning something, share it. Don't say it might not make sense. when you are learning something, if Yola mentioned the fact that she was reading a book when she finished this chapter, in fact, she told her audience that this book has 13 chapters, also so number of chapters. I am done with chapter one, and this is what I learned. And do you know, even though you said you were not like a thought leader, but you're already like you are showing yourself to actually have knowledge, or you are growing, like you are enhancing yourself in that field, which is what most people, even people that are already like giving the value, don't know how to do. People feel like, hey, is it not just this thing I'm doing? Yes, it is just this thing, but blow your own. It is just this thing, share it. It is either, if you're sharing it, it's either you're inspiring someone or you are putting it there as your digital footprint and say, this is where I'm starting from. Watch me grow while at it. So thank you so much for like taking us back, sharing your story with us. And yes, I'm talking about people, why it's important for them to keep sharing it. So this take me to the next question. So if you look at your own point of view, why is it important for professionals to build a career brand today?
Okay, thank you very much. So, I think I hosted a personal brand session but a month back, and there was something I mentioned that whether you're building a career brand or not, you have a career brand.
Hmm.
Whether you are actively building or not, you have a career brand. So, is it not better that you are shaping what your career brand is like? Is it not better if you're taking ownership of how you want to be perceived? Because whether you're doing it or not, people are perceiving you in a certain kind of way. So, building a career brand now means that you are taking ownership of how you're perceived. You are taking ownership of what you want people to remember your name for. You're not working behind the scenes. In 2025, the greatest harm you can do to yourself is to be behind the scenes. Oh my
Mm-hmm,
god, people who are not even as good as you are, they are not even where you are at all.
mm-hmm,
They'll fly 10 times more, and you are still putting in the hard work but behind the scenes.
mm-hmm,
So it's about shaping how you're perceived, shaping the opportunities that you want to come to you, shaping what people say about you. I mean, if I was not tagging the HR guy, I think people could have named me a lot of things because I do a lot of other things, right?
mm-hmm,
People could have seen me as a community manager. Some people will see me as a community manager. Some people will see me as a project manager because I'm doing all of these things. But now the brand I'm selling is I am the HR girl. So it means I'm taking ownership of what I want people to know me for, of the value I want people to ascribe to me. So you are good at A, take ownership of it. Let people know that you are good at it. That's your career brand. Career brand is also not, it's not influencing, right? Because I
mm-hmm,
think a lot of people have that assumption. It's not influencing, no. It is you simply knowing that, oh, I have this value to offer, and ensuring that you're showing up in a way that people can ascribe that value to you. That is when they remember Tosin, they remember this. So now you see how important it is to have a career. So it also means that when there are jobs in that area, your name would also be remembered because you've positioned yourself that I am good at this. This is my tough. This is my strength. So yeah, it's so important to build a career
Thank you
brand.
so much for sharing that, Ifeoluwa. I was speaking to someone, I think sometimes last week, and one thing I said is when you started this career path or when you started like looking for job, maybe even you looking for job as a social media manager, as a technical writer, or any whatever field you are into, when you are looking for the job, you carry your CV and say, oh, this is my CV, this is what I can do. And now you have gotten this job, you are giving value to the job. Do you think that is the end of your career? If your question is no, then it is important for you to build. It is important for you to go out there and build a professional brand for yourself. Tell people what you are doing. Remember how you started, just sharing your CV. Now tell them what you are doing because of course, if just like every other, most persons wants to be more than where they currently are. You want to get another job, you want to be better than the one you currently have. And because you want to be better than the one you currently have, you have to show up more than the way you showed up before. You have to like influence. So, because you mentioned influencing, even if it's for you to see it, because some people actually see that like their personal brand as, oh, I'm influencing for myself. Do you agree with me? Some people see it that way,
Yes.
but it is you because I always have the opinion that if you don't speak for yourself, nobody's going to speak for you. But if when you carry your matter on your head, right? people will see the way you are doing it. I say, oh, okay, you want to carry this thing, then I can carry it. And just like what other people used to say as well, the more you talk about, and I think Ifelu also mentioned it, the more you talk about this aspect of things, the more you associate yourself with the field or that field, that subject matter, the more people back in their team, maybe they are looking for example, there was a time Elegance Media were looking for a social media manager. And I think our operation manager was just like, oh, I know one lady that is always sharing something about this, like exactly what we were looking for. She was not even sure of the person's name. She had to like go back on LinkedIn, search for some keywords, and the lady showed up in her timeline. So it is very important for you, especially when you're not comfortable, when you want to do more, when you're not comfortable with where you are, or when you hope to like get to even like a bigger place. It is important for you to build like a career brand for yourself. So now let's talk about the HR girl. Okay, so how do you define your voice, your value, and visuals of the HR game? You mentioned earlier that when you put out your content, um you always put like a brand tag, the HR game like with an emoji. But can you like explain it to us how you did it so that other people who are going to watch this video can look at their own path and try to use the same strategy to like define their own as well?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So, I mean, I just want to also add something that, one of my coaches would always say about your career brand. She would say that your career brand is a portfolio. So you have to hawk it wherever you go. So, I mean, just to point out what you said earlier, you cannot afford to be silent about what you do. So you have to carry your matter on your head. But that's by the way. So back to your question, how I was able to build my brand and build my voice in the industry. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't start out having it all figured out, or I didn't start out with with an arched plan to say this is who I want to be, this is where I want to be. But you also mentioned something earlier about how you're taking people through your growth journey. So you want people to grow with you. So people that followed me in 2021, and if they come across my page and they're like, hold up, this is not the this is not the young Ife that will just post books that she read, etc, like that. So it started for me with growth, right? My voice started with growth. I just wanted to share my growth journey, and that was what I was simply doing at the start. I would um I would learn stuff, I would share it, I would read an article, I would give my opinion. In fact, there was a point that I would read like a lot of about a subject matter, and then I'll be able to write articles. I remember then I would write articles, and when like top professionals, my very senior professionals, then when they read my article, they'll be like, oh wow, this is an interesting point of view, and they'll give their opinion. So number one is I built expert knowledge. I try to build my knowledge bank in my industry. So if you see me say anything, I know what I'm saying. So I wanted, as another point, also the goal at that point was after school, I didn't want to struggle. I was trying to position myself for opportunities. I wanted to get a job. So my goal at every point always defined the strategy I used for how my brand has evolved. So work with me. So at that point, the plan was I wanted to get a
We
very
are
good
ready.
job. I wanted to get a good job after school. So I was trying to share that this girl is in school, but she's learning, she's growing, she's jumping on opportunities. And at that point, when I started sharing what I've learned, I started reaching out to my senior professionals. So the way people will say, shoot your shot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
shoot your shot. But if you're not a valuable person, your shots might miss,
It will
right?
be. Yeah.
So when I shoot my shot and they go back to check my profile, they will not come back. LinkedIn will show you that somebody has checked them. They will go and check. They will not come
Mm-hmm.
back and say, oh, hi, Ifeoluwa. How are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? Great work you're doing. Are you still in school? I'm like, yes, I'm still in school. And then we'll kick off the conversation from there. They were willing to hold my hand because I have showed up. and they
Yes.
have seen that, oh, this is a resource, this girl really wants to do this thing. So it was easier for me to get responses, and I think I got my mentor on LinkedIn. I got my first mentor on LinkedIn, yay. And it was through my personal brand. So, and through him, I got my first role, and I had not even finished school. So through all of that journey, like I said, remember I said the beginning was I wanted to get a job. So now I had gotten a job. In fact, I got two jobs. Yes, through LinkedIn. So I then I gotten two jobs, and I was already growing. So the goal kind of evolved, right? The goal is now, oh, share what you know. You're already knowing, some of these things. Now share what you know. So I started giving some kind of insights, and my job at the time gave me the opportunity to work with high level executives, high level professionals. So I was exposed to the industry. I was exposed to rooms that I should not be able to enter until I was probably a senior professional. I was able to step into these rooms. I was able to listen to these experts. Remember, it simply started from me making some posts on LinkedIn on my learning journey. That was where it all started. So I was able to have conversations with these people. I was able to attend some of these events. So I will attend events, I will snap pictures. Oh, I met so and so. I went to this event, I learned this, I learned that. Networking was easier.
Mm.
So I was growing in my career. I was sharing my growth journey. I was now sharing insights. I was sharing. So at that point, the goal is to now position myself as a young, vibrant HR professional that knows
Mm-hmm.
her onions, or that is knowing her onions, right? And that was what I was doing. And then that evolved. I got after school, I was able to secure my first role through LinkedIn. Also, one of the people I connected with, she was just like, oh, I saw this and you seem like the perfect fit. Boom, I
Wow.
got the offer. Remember, it simply started from making one or two posts on LinkedIn. I'm taking you back so you know that sometimes the results might not come in that week you started posting, or that month you started posting. It might not come immediately you do your 30 days LinkedIn challenge. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It is
it
a
is
journey.
a
What I'm
journey.
saying now is like 1 year plus, right? So from there, um I started building my portfolio as an HR, started networking with people. In fact, my HR friends now are not even really entry level people. They are people that they have flown higher than I am because of how I've been able to position myself. So my voice was, I wanted to be a young HR professional that knows what she's doing. That just it's not just She does not just want to work in a company and let it die there. No, I want to be a voice in my industry. I want people to, when they are talking about, oh, young HR professionals that are doing well in their field, yeah, I want my name to be in the numbers. So at that point, that was the goal, and that was what also directed my showing up. And did it yield results? Yes, because I also got to, in fact, opportunities are countless, really. I think maybe later we'll still talk on that. But the voice is me being a young HR professional, and then using the HR girl as a tagline to drive that goal. The HR girl was just a means to an end. So it was the tool through which my brand was, I was leveraging on to build that brand. So whenever I shared my ideas, my insights, my interesting, and once I tagged the HR girl, even if you don't exactly know who is posting, once like it's the HR girl, there's an emotional side to branding. I'm sure that someone will be able to relate more. That once the name sticks in mind, they just know this person. They know that, oh, this girl will like always share something valuable, something reasonable. And I was not now also just sharing what I was learning. I was now beginning to help other people, right?
Empowering
So
others.
yes, inspiring others, helping others. Or at that point, I mean, I would share that, oh, if you want to like start out, you are still in school. This is what I did. You too, you can also do this. So at that point, I was really helping a lot of people, and they're like, oh my God, if you just finished school, they reach out and say, you just finished school. How did you do this? How did you do that? Yeah, you can use this strategy, use that strategy, and they will get results at the end of the day. So that was another encouraging factor for me. It was just not just about the brand. I was helping other people to build their careers. I was helping them to get certain opportunities through the HR girl. So now I will now fast forward to last year. So last year, for instance, last year now, like I said, the plan was to now be a voice in my industry, and I started reaping the results of that last year. Because that was when people now start reaching out to say, "Oh, we have something interesting that the interesting project would like you to work with us on." I'm like, "Where did you find me?" "Oh, we saw your
How?
LinkedIn profile." And another thing, guys, even when your post is just getting one like, people are watching.
Mm-hmm. People are watching you.
People are watching. So don't be discouraged when you're showing up and it's like, oh, I'm not getting the numbers. I'm not getting. People are watching. Something you said like hits me so strongly was because I've had certain opportunities that people will randomly send to me. They don't even know what it's about. But once they just see it, HR, they are sending it to Ife because they just know that whether it's useful to her or not, she will filter that out. But as far as it's HR, Ife is that one person I know that carries HR on her head. So my friends, random strangers became my advertisers. They carried my career for me because I've been able to tell them, position myself, share that I want to do this, I am growing in this, and I am not quiet about it. So last year is when doors started opening. I mean, I moved from LinkedIn, I started going to other social media platforms. I think it was last year I penetrated X, and just sharing my story alone inspired people. Another thing is your story is important. You
Very
might think
important.
you might think it's so irrelevant. Oh, I mean, I just did this.
Is it not
It is
just
very,
me?
is it not just me? Like, we underrate ourselves because,
Uh-huh.
is it not just me? All I did was I just shared my story on Twitter, and I think at that point it got over 200,000 impressions. People were just retweeting and they were like, oh my God. I was like, is it my story or another story? People
Mm.
could relate to my journey. They were like, oh my God, I'm going through this same thing. Your story has helped me. Now I know what to do. Your story is important. Your story is very, very important. So it was just sharing my story on X that before you know it, I got into the larger HR community on X. Companies started reaching out for collaborations, for events, and that was it. It all started from LinkedIn. So I mean, for up until last year, my major voice was still in the HR industry, in the HRD industry, and now from late last year up until this year, my voice has kind of evolved, right? From January now, I have been talking employability.
Mm.
And just from January up until now, I think I have hosted over 7 sessions on employability. And it was just because they have been seeing my posts. I've been talking a lot about it. I mean, I just started employability series. I would drop real-time facts on skills that people need to build to get employable, what should be in your CV, what you should be doing, what you're not doing if you are in school, just what I did. It was not magic. What I did in school, join clubs, don't just be a student, join societies, take courses. Those were things I did that worked for me. And I just shared that. And yeah, they will just reach out to me. Oh, we saw your posts on LinkedIn, and that was very insightful. We checked your profile and see all the work you've been doing. Oh my God, we want you to speak on a session. That is how your personal branding can shape. So you see, now my voice is changing. I'm still the HR girl, but the voice of the HR girl is now evolving. So what I always do is I always have a goal, right? And then somehow I would channel what I put out to push me towards that goal. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm. It
So
makes sense. It makes sense.
what I put out will direct me to that goal. So I want to get a job.
Mm.
What should I be doing? I
Mhm.
should be sharing what I'm learning. I should be sharing how I'm upskilling. I should any networking event I join, I should be posting about it. I should be talking. I
Mhm.
should not be quiet. When HR professionals are posting on LinkedIn, I should not just like. I should give reasonable comments. I should repost
Contribute.
so that when I'm shooting my shot in their DM, they're like, "Oh, I've been seeing your comments on my post." Of course, it was strategy. It was not just me just wanting to
I
just
love that.
comment.
Yes.
And then they will say they'll be able to they'll be willing to listen to you. They'll be willing to help just because you have showed up. Just because you have showed up. So I think my goal has always involved how my brand, how my voice has also evolved over time, and my strategy as well.
Thank you so much. I actually enjoy listening to you. You're a very good HR. Like I don't get tired of listening. You were just like speaking and I was speaking, I was jotting. I even had to carry like my pen and a jotting notes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And from everything Ifeoluwa has shared, this is to tell people that are watching or you're going to watch this video later that you can do big things from that small place. As a student, as a graduate, wherever you are, you can start. Just be focused. Prepare yourself for that opportunity. This is something I always want to say. I always mention. Oh, you're applying for a, let's say for example, a community lead role. Are you actually ready to become a community lead or just a community manager or just an associate community manager? Prepare yourself for that place that you want to like see yourself. Show up and be very bold. Keep showing up. Just keep showing up. And when you're doing it, don't just show up strategically and be bold about it. People are watching you. I can see people in our audience in the comments are also saying it. People are watching you. And you when people are watching you, there was this strategy I shared with one of our program participants, the last course that we had. And this person is a PhD student. I hope he's watching this as well, and I hope he has been able to implement. He's a PhD student. He's working on like some paper, and he's trying to reach out to some people. And he kept telling himself that how can I? Will this person even listen to me? How can I reach out to this person? Would this person even want to talk to me? And we shared some strategies with him. He implemented the strategies, and I'm very happy. He sent like us an email saying one of the people that he thought he cannot even have in his email reached out to him. Visibility, the power of
Wow.
visibility, the power of
Yes.
strategy, like intentional visibility. So people are watching you. Also, Philo mentioned that people just share like resources, opportunities with her, even when they are not sure maybe she qualify. My first, my first training that I did as a community manager was fully paid. I think it was around 5,000 USD, and I got 100% scholarship. And I think I was part of the first set of three Africans, Nigerians, Africans that got the scholarship, fully paid scholarship. And I finished that, and that's finishing that particular course actually landed me like another contract role as a community, as a dev brand manager. So people are watching you, prepare for that opportunity, and your story is important. In fact, what am I saying? My current job, it was a friend that shared with me. Oh, Masala, I saw this thing on LinkedIn. I think you are qualified. I'm like, I've not even heard of this program before. Okay, let's start. Let's give it a shot. But because this person knows that, okay, when it comes to this role, this is the person. When it comes to this field, this is the person. Um, Tell your story the way you want people to like say it, or tell the story. So let's move on. I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I still have like lots of questions. Okay, so Ifeoluwa, you have talked about being bold, you have talked about showing up, you have talked about just starting, you have talked about being intentional. But was there like any moment where you feel like, are you doing the right thing? Where imposter syndrome like comes along the way, and you're like, am I sure this is what I want to do? Am I sure I've got this? If you have faced that or you have experienced that in any way, how were you able to like navigate the period?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
okay,
very much.
I can
Let
imagine
me.
this.
Okay. Was there ever? I would not say there was a time where I was not sure. Because I've also invested a lot in self awareness, right? Understanding myself. So there were times where I would take breaks, right? So when I start feeling that way, I just take 2 steps back. I go back to hibernate, right? Because I'm also of the opinion that, oh, even if you're going to show up, like nobody, you're not working on anybody's time. And I always tell myself that, my career is a lifetime journey. So like there's nobody should pressure you. Nobody should say, oh, you have been no, 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 no. Now, when it gets to stages where, oh yeah, things are a bit rocky, I'm not sure, I take 2 steps back. And that's why, as much as you're building a personal brand, you must also have your internal. I don't know the word they call them, but like the people that would
Mhm.
knock your head like
Your
behind the scene,
cheerleaders.
your
Mhm.
cheerleaders. I could always go back to them and say, "Oh my God, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's happening," and then they take me back to why I am doing this. They take me back to why I'm showing up, because right from time, me showing up was never about me. It was never about, oh, just me just choosing to show up. No, or even me choosing to be a thought leader in my industries, because I saw a gap. Right from when I was in uni, leaving uni, I saw that a lot of people, transitioned through school, all of that, without figuring out who they are, what they wanted to do. These were the gaps that inspired me to even get into a field like HR, right? Because I wanted to impact lives. I wanted to contribute to people's growth. So I could always go back to my why. So that is why in all your personal branding, all your career branding, if there is no why, the moment
Mhm.
you take a misstep, you might fall completely. You might just lose the pace. So there must be a why. So for times where I felt, am I doing the right thing? And I still tell people that I don't actually think I'm going to do HR forever. Like in the next 10 years, I don't actually see myself doing HR. And that's funny, but it's because I also know that there's a lot for me to do. There's a lot of opportunities out there for me to explore as well. But right now, I want to do HR and I want to do it well. So if you feel like you want to be a tech professional or something, what are you right now and how can you own what you are right now? What's the goal? Beyond the surface, what are your roots? Right? So that's very important. And like your why. And I will say it again, if you don't have a why for building a career brand, yeah, it might be difficult building a sustainable, you might get the old traction in a while, but it might be very difficult to build it sustainably. So, how do I go back when I feel a certain kind of way? When I go back to my cheerleaders, and then I'm reminded of why I am doing what I am doing. I'm reminded of the lives I've been able to touch doing what I am doing. I'm reminded of how much I have grown doing what I'm doing. So unless I want to stop growing or unless I'm no longer passionate, yeah, I would always come back. But I will take breaks, I will recuperate, and then I'll come back stronger always. So yeah, rest is also important. So because trust me, social media can be a lot sometimes. I don't really like social
Now,
media.
now you're talking to me. Now you're talking to me. Mine is actually not about social media. Social media is part of it, which I'm going to. Okay, so let me allow you to land first.
Okay. Okay. So I mean sometimes it can just be a lot. You just want to, it's like everybody saying grow your brand, but you just want to just leave this place. So it's okay to take breaks, but what is not okay is to take a break and not come back, because you cannot afford to not come back. Just say that like your life depends on it. In 2025, your life actually depends on it. I'm not even lying. Your network currency just determines how much you grow in 2025. So you cannot afford to not show up. So you can take breaks, know your why, have people that are constantly reminding you. Record your wins.
Hmm.
You're building your personal brand. Record it. What are the things that you've achieved through building that career brand? What are the people Who are the people you've networked with? So whenever you are feeling imposter syndrome, go back to that journal. See my own. This is my own. This
I have
journal,
my
if they should steal it, I will be sick for 1 week. So record all of these things so that you are constantly reminding yourself that yeah, I am on the right path. Things may not be so rosy right now, but I am doing something right. So I think I would
Mhm.
put a pin to it there.
Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. Just like you mentioned, your why is very important. In as much as we have been talking about you showing up, you building public, you being bold, you should have a reason. It's just like you're traveling, you have a destination in mind. And because this is your destination, you won't stop along the way. You will keep going. Is it possible for you to leave Lagos and say you are going to Abuja and tell the driver or the pilot that please stop me on the way? I've reached my destination. That is not the
Yeah.
destination you have in your head. You have a destination, you have the things you want to go and do when you get to your destination. So even when maybe you are flying and they say, oh, there is this thing, the plane is this somehow, or on the road, there's turbulence, or on the road, they said the road is bad, even the bus that you enter sport, people need to come down, they need to repair, they need to do this thing. All those things will only stop you at that moment. But it is not what will determine your destination, because trust me, if that car should spoil on the road, you have not reached your destination. The driver will fix it, whoever needs to stop will stop, but you continue the journey until you get to your final destination. So your why, your destination is very important. It is what is going to inspire you. And just like I use the road transport, let's use the road transport for example, your cheerleaders, they are very important. You know, sometimes when your car have thoughts and you have to drop on the way and you are feeling tired, you have other passengers there who are telling you, don't worry, they will soon finish it. Don't worry, we'll start going. Or
Agree.
maybe your flight is being delayed. You see someone at the airport that will be telling you, oh my God, I have a connecting flight. How do I do this thing? And you will see people coming around and telling you, oh, don't worry, the turbulence is too much, the cloud is not good, the weather is bad, but don't worry, we'll go. Those are your cheerleaders. Check your circle. Who are the people that can remind you of who you are? Who are the people that can remind you of your wins? Oh, Amatala, you have done this thing in the past, you can do it. Oh, this thing that you are feeling is just for this moment. If you can do this thing, you can do this thing. Sometimes your cheerleaders can even be your teammates that can tell you, did you see the project you finished last year? Oh, you have got this. You are the best person for the job. Sometimes your cheerleader can be your circle. People in your circle that can remind you that when it comes to this thing, please let's just leave it to you. Even when you're feeling down, people that will tell you, please take your time, when you are done, we are waiting for you because we want to clap for you. And also documentation, like documenting your wins, just like Ifeoluwa mentioned. I do this a lot. If I'm learning anything, I'm sharing it. If I'm going through anything, I'm sharing it. And when you're doing this, for me, what I've done in the past, once I do this, sometimes I just recently I was writing an article, or I don't know, I was doing a task and I had to like go back to one of the community I've managed before, and I searched for one keyword because of what I was looking for, and I saw the prompts, the kind of prompts I used to drop when we are having like engagements, and I'm like, oh my god, Omotola, you did this. Omotola, you have done this. And I was prompted to even I went back to read like the last article I wrote when I was working with the community, and I'm like, yes, this is you. You did this before, you can do it again. And even though I was at a very low period at that time, I read the article again. I'm like, Umbrella, you have got this, you're going to do it. Sometimes your cheerleader can be yourself. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. Imposter syndrome is like there. You can't say it's not there. It is there. Read books, listen to other people who have gone through that journey. Have a mentor, have someone you can like you feel very comfortable to talk to about how you're feeling, about all those things. Um, for those that are just joining us or probably just joining us at this point. Yeah, joining us at this point. This is also like one of this thing I just spoke of that if you just mentioned is like one of the mission that we have at Elegance Media. We want to normalize the fact that people don't just show up online. The idea of how you show up online. We want to like empower people, especially professionals, people who are already giving value. So we are not being biased. We have like programs for people that are just starting out as well. Even if you're just starting out, this is for you. In order for you to see being visible as not a burden, it is not a burden. Instead, see it as a tool for your growth, for your impact, and for your self reflection. This is very important. Talking about being bold, talking about using visibility as a tool for growth. My next question to Ifeoluwa. So, how do you balance, sharing things about what you're learning, what you're going through, and every other thing because you want to build your personal brand? How do you balance protecting your own personal boundary? Let me explain what I mean. Sometimes because you said you are learning something, you're sharing it, you are doing this thing, you're sharing it. And then does that mean when I'm applying for a job, I have to like even when they have not given me the contract, do I have to share? Do I have to there are some phases of life that you go through that are just personal to you, but at the same time, it's personal to your personal branding, if that is correct, or like to your growth. So, how do you like protect what you're sharing, the boundary between what you're sharing and also your personal space?
Okay, thank you. So I would actually take it back from um goals, having goals for your personal brand. So now we start with what you want to achieve with your personal brand. You know, there are some people now, their personal brand is they share everything and anything. You know, they are in the toilet, they will share it, yeah, they will share it and everything. And that's fine. I mean, it's like I said, personal brand is just simply how you want people to perceive you. So ask yourself, how do you want people to perceive you? Right now, for instance, I said I want to be a voice in my industry. And then the next thing, I'm recording a video, I'm crying that my interview went bad. What happened today? I will not come and say that, right? Because I have a goal in mind. Because there is a perception I want to sell. As much as, we can say, oh, just be, there's actually a lot of strategy to eating people. It's not just post anything and then, it's also because it's also a part of PR, right? When people search my name, there are certain things I want to come out. There are some certain things I don't want you to search HR girl and then you're seeing some kind of things as well. So one is, how do you want to be perceived? Right. And what are your goals right now? What are the pillars driving your personal brand? So now for you, with those pillars, what are you comfortable sharing? Right? It's a personal thing. I will not tell you where to draw the line. You have to decide that. But before you decide that, you have to first of all answer the question of how exactly do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as the best content creator? Do you want to be perceived as the best writer? Whichever it is, whichever it is, you decide that. And after that, what are the goals? Okay, with my personal brand, I want to get a job. Beyond getting a job, I want to become a thought leader in my industry. Thirdly, I want to attract international opportunities. So now you have settled all of that. So now what do you need to do? And you can use the tools available to you. Sometimes I do a lot of study. I study brands, personal brands that I also admire, right? People that have been able to grow their personal brands to where I'm looking to go to. Okay, how did this person approach this perception building, right? What are the things they share? So oftentimes what you see people share is they share their growth, they share certain wins. So there's this Yoruba, they say that when you are cooking something, don't share it until it have, like
Okay, for our global audience, it means that so Yoruba is a tribe in Nigeria, Africa.
yes,
It means that when you are preparing something, you shouldn't share until when what you're preparing is done. Was that able to like
exactly.
translate? Uh-huh.
Yes. So I mean, you're starting a project. You've not like gotten the details of your project. You don't know yet, and then you've gone on LinkedIn and say, "Oh, hello, I'm through to announce," and then it fails along the way. That's not good on your personal brand, right? Because you're also selling a brand that you can't do to finish. You start things and then they go sideways. So
Hmm.
like I said, also, what do you want to share? You want to share your growth journey, you want to share your success stories, and maybe you want to share a bit of, failures that people can learn from. And even when you are even sharing that, you have to be very strategic about it. You have to be very
Hmm.
selective also about it. You don't have to share everything. Let me also say that you don't have to share everything. It's not necessarily that, oh, everything you do you have to share. There are a lot of things I have done that I have actually not shared, and it has not diminished my brand. It has not diminished who I am as a person. Be particular about your personal boundaries. I cannot define your boundaries for you, but like I said, know why you are know why you are in the branding space. Know why you're on the social media space. Know why you're building your career brand. Know the limit to which you can go. I would say if you want to share, but also don't overshare. Don't share things that are still in the pipeline that you are not sure of yet. You don't have to share all your failures. And when you're even sharing your failures, make sure you are sharing it from a point of learning, not from a point of,
Yes.
oh, I have failed. Oh, no. You are sharing your failure and you're sharing how you've risen from it or how you've grown
Hmm.
from
And
it.
what next?
And what next exactly.
Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. I think you answered the question very, very well. And just to add to that, the same way you are sharing your wins strategically, the same way you are sharing your learnings strategically, is the same way you're going to share your struggles and your failures strategically. I am always of the opinion that share your struggles because trust me, especially if you go on LinkedIn, everybody's sharing, I'm happy to announce, I'm happy to announce. And there is more to I'm happy to announce. And someone who is just starting their career will feel like, why is it that everybody is getting it and I'm not getting it? Trust me, those people that are sharing that one thing have gone through hundreds of no's to thousands of no's as well. And in as much as it's just like you went for a job interview and they said, can you share your witness with us? You are going to share. Anytime I ask that question and somebody tell me I don't have, somebody has told me before they don't have any weakness, I'm like, oh, you're perfect. That's what you mean. In as much as just the same way we say, okay, even when you want to share your weakness, you can say, oh, this happens to be my weakness, but it happens in this scenario, and I was able to like navigate it, and this is what I learned, and what I learned, I've used it in this scenario, and this is what it helped me with. So, in as much as you're able to share that during your interview, it's the same way you can come online and say, I've applied to a job before. I just applied to a job. I went through all the interview process, all those long interview process. I even did assessment, but at the end of the day, I didn't get it today. But I'm grateful for so person that helped me along the way. Give shout out to who you need to shoot shout out to. This exposure or this thing, this interview or this hiring process has exposed me to even this part of my career that I don't know of. I have learned how to use these skills, the importance of this. Let me tell you something. Like, I just went through something this morning on my own and I got feedback on my own. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought what I've done is actually perfect. Now, this feedback showed me that I need to think more high level. I need to think more than where I am thinking. Yes, what I've done is perfect, but something is more than what I've done. The expectation is actually more. And I can share it. I can write an article about it so that someone out there is also going to learn. And then my next employer will know that, oh, now Omotola knows how to be very intentional about delivering high level work. So so I hope people are able to like get what we are trying to like explain in that regard. And if you don't get this, if you're watching this video, you don't get this, please ask the question in the chat, and either the Elegance Media team or Ifeoluwa will be happy to like answer you. So Ifeoluwa, let's talk about community. So how has your community? I know you mentioned that some of your friends will share like opportunities with you, resources with you, but how has your audience in general supported your journey? And is there like any step that you have taken to like keep these people that are supporting you engaged, in order to like, is there any step that you have taken in order to like strengthening the relationship that you have with your audience?
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Okay, so let me take it back to whenever people come to me to say, oh, I want to know how, like, how can I network, or I'm trying to build my community, build people. How do you say this? I'll first ask you, are you a person of value? Right. Why should I associate myself with you? You are worried about somebody you want to associate it. Why should that person associate with you? What do you have to bring to the table? So
Give and take.
it's give and take. Honestly, there's no two way about it. So um what I've tried to do is I've tried to position myself as a person of value, and it's most times either through knowledge sharing, either through opportunities sharing. Sometimes I will get DMs and people will share that. I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me help you with this, let me help you with that. Oh, let me make some calls, let me help you ask the question. It might be something that they can actually go and search on Google, but sometimes I will take the extra step to help the person get all the information they need, and I will share it with them. And that way I've been sowing seeds. So one thing about value is once you sow a seed in a person, that person will preach your gospel to the next five people. If
Mhm.
the next five people are able to get value from you, they'll preach your value to the next 10 people. So I think
Hmm.
that's how I've been able to grow so far. Um the people I started with, I was able to like contribute to their growth, no matter how little. It can be as little as a content. When I'm also saying values, I'm not saying that, oh, go and help them or send somebody money or whatever. No, is how can you help their growth? What are their needs, right? And how can you help them in their area of their needs? I might not be able to get a job for you, but I will tell you that, oh, okay, I think I came across a job similar to this, and I'll just share them 2 or 3 job postings. And I think I've even had somebody come back to say, "Oh, I got an interview from one of the jobs." And I'm like, "Oh, interesting." That is value deposited. That is value given. So I've tried to offer value. And in fact, when I now saw that, oh, okay, there's a lot more I can give. That is why I took an extra step then to see, okay, let me actually have this jobs and opportunities page, because most of my content at the time was going around employability, securing jobs, etc., like that, career growth generally. So now people were able to come to say, oh my God, okay, Ife is someone that's always sharing career tips. So I'm showing that whatever community she's building or internal community she's building, they're going to get double the value, right? So it starts with value, just offer value. Community building is not easy, sha, but it's easier when you have a lot of value to offer. And the truth about it is, as much value you give, you
Okay.
receive double. Trust me on that, you receive double value. So yeah, I think that's been the foundation for my community building through my personal brand.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. I've had a reason, opportunity to tell people, be the kind of friend, be the kind of audience you want to guess or see. In terms of friendship, when it comes to career, or relationship, when it comes to your career, be that type of person in other people's career, the type of person you wish they had to you. It might not be it to that person directly, be it to another person. And even when it comes to audience, like you posting, you want people to like your post. How many posts have you liked today? Even though you have consumed a lot of content, how many of those contents did you like? Did you comment on that? Did you tell the person that created it, well done? And you want the same thing. You want those audience that engage. How many of those people's content do you engage with? So be the change you want to see, be the positive audience community that you want to see. And even if it doesn't play out directly, maybe, oh, I'm giving to this person, it might come from another angle. Just be that change that you want to see in people. Okay, so my last question, I know our time is fast spent. I'm going to try to ask this question like a two-in-one question. People have listened to you. Thank you so much, Philua, for sharing your thoughts, your experience, your strategies with us. I really enjoy having this conversation with you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. So, for people that look up to you, for people that are going to be watching this, for people that want to get, they've been, getting a lot of insights from what you've been sharing so far. But people that want to be very intentional about it, want to go out there, but they still have some question. So, what would you say to someone out there who feel they are too ordinary to start there, to start showing up? What would you say to the person? And also, can you give like 2 to 3 tips for online visibility, especially tips that is sustainable and that is real?
Okay, thank you very much. So let me start with the tips. So the first one is, you don't have to run when it comes to personal branding. You don't have to. You're not in a race, right? Um, Consistency is more than, how do I say it? People, it is about consistency. Let me put it like that. And I'm saying this because
Consistency
I
is
see a
the
lot
key
of
word.
people. Yes, so I see a lot of people now that, oh, after 30 days LinkedIn challenge, fiam, they have poorer, like they have
Or
disappeared.
my friend is like this. I need to be like this too.
They will disappear into thin air. No, that is not building a personal brand. Goes back to saying, um being clear on what you want to achieve, what you want to do. And now is building a consistent system. Okay, let me now also be factual with you. It is hard. It is not easy. Oh, there are days I'm on board selling in the morning. I'm trying to I'm trying to build the content. I'm trying to record the video. I'm going on cover to do carousel. I'm going to do flyer. It is damn hard. In fact, that is why we have people like Elegance Media that are taking off the stress of some people, because it is not
Thank
easy.
you.
So if anybody sells you the dream that it's just to post, no. And that is why you have to build systems around it. You have to build structures. You want to build a personal brand, you don't have to show up every day. You don't have to show up every two market days. If it's just 2 days in a week, you can show up and give value. Do that. But the result is when you show up 2 days every week in a year, hmm, the result you would have, you will be shocked by it, than for you to
Mm.
do a 60 days marathon and then you disappear for 8 months of the year.
I am nowhere to be found.
You have to build systems that you can maintain. I
Mhm.
don't know if Jumoke is on this call, one of my friends, Jumoke. Our goal is just right now, because life is already happening to everybody. Everybody is busy.
Mhm.
I must show up once a week.
Hmm.
I must
Go
just
at your
show up.
own pace.
Do it at your own pace. So if you can show up 3 times a week, you're able to build your structures around it,
That's fine.
please do. But consistency is the key word, is very, very important. And if you cannot sustain it, it's okay to just work with what you can sustain. All your content, they will not digest it in 1 week. Trust me, though, you have a lot to share. So it's okay to break it down. It's okay to not share the whole information. I mean, I started the employability series this year. As I got to episode 6 now, I've taken like 3 weeks break because work is almost killing me. And then I know that once a week I will just drop a post that will encourage me that you guys, I will be back. Or employability series will be back. But just take this one. I'll be back. So I'm not showing up as somebody that is so perfect. But what matters is consistency and authenticity. And yes, I know AI is here to help us. I know ChatGPT is our friend. Let your showing up have your own voice. Number two tip, you have a voice. The only thing that will sell your personal brand is your personal touch to it. That is why it is called personal career brand. Personal. It is the you. What I'm saying online is not as if other people are not saying it, but it is my touch to it. It is the first touch that makes it, you know, be out there, that gives, it's the HR girl's touch that is making, oh, people want to interact. People, whatever I write, search on LinkedIn that day, 20 more people have written on that topic. But it's the personal touch to it that is important. So what is your voice? And you're probably asking, "Hey, which one is voice? How will I find my voice?" So now go back to your notepad. What are the things I'm good at? What are the topics that flow naturally to me? What are the things I want to be known for? What are the keywords that I can sit down on for weeks, for months, and I can talk on this subject matter comfortably? Add my own bit of humor to it, add my bit of spice. Even if ChatGPT helps you, let us see your voice, let us see you, right? I mean, another thing that people know me for is in my content. As much as I try to be serious, you only see a bit of humor. I will throw shades, I will insult you. Like, I will tell you that you people that you go to interview, you'll be looking, not be able to talk. I will throw the shade at you, and then I will tell you what to do after
Or
that.
they will not
So
turn on their camera. You have to
not
beg
turn on
them
their
to come out
camera.
themselves.
You know, I will throw the shades at you. So they know that if you are reading the
Mhm.
first, she will insult you, but you better read to the end because the lesson is there for you in that content. So let your voice speak through your content. Consistency is very important. Build structures. It's not about it's how well. So be consistent, have a clear voice, be clear on that. So those are tips for you to start building. And then for somebody that thinks that they are ordinary, ha,
Hmm.
just go
Hmm.
and look in the mirror. Go and look in the mirror first off.
Who do you
This
see? What do you
you see an
see?
ordinary person? No, you're not.
Nah.
You're not ordinary. Don't think you have to have life figured out in the sense of it before you start showing up. Don't think you have to be one of the high flyers. Don't think you have to be one of the top players before you show up. And remember that you are showing up for yourself. You are challenging yourself because you don't want the version of maybe Tolu that is posting in January. You don't want to be that version of Tolu that we post in December.
Mm.
So use it to track your journey. You are ordinary, Abby, no problem. Just use showing up to track your own growth journey. Start by sharing what you learned in January. Start by sharing it. By the time you get to December, just take stock and go back. Don't do it for anybody. Do it to measure your growth. Do it to measure how well you are doing for yourself in your career. So number one, you are not ordinary. You are a bundle of talent. You are
Extraordinary.
amazing.
Mhm.
You might not have 5 years of experience, you might not have 10 years of experience, but you know something, and that is your selling point. You know something, you have an interest. Selling point is not even knowledge, it might be as simple as interest. You have an
Mhm.
interest, and that is all that matters. Just build on your interest. Let people know that you're interested in this thing. Let them know that you took a course. Let them know that you learned this last week. With your ordinariness, you just be sharing what you are learning. Just be sharing how you
Yes.
are showing up for yourself, and you see that
Yes.
the brand will work. It will just you not even know when it will start working for you. You will not know.
Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. And I would like to end it with this. Aside the fact that Ifeoluwa has mentioned that you are not ordinary, you are more than enough. You are doing extraordinary things, and you can even do more extraordinary things from where you are right now. And as far as you can see, you can achieve it. As far as you can see, you want to work in that big company, you can achieve it. Just start now and take all the necessary steps. Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa, for joining us today. Thank you so much to the audience. Oh, yes, please go on.
Yes, okay. Sorry, so sorry, please. So I just wanted to share some things with you guys for you to know, get another perspective to personal branding. So it's an example. So late last year, right, I just started sharing on Twitter, on X. I just started sharing how much I love Semu Vita. Yes. And I just started sharing. I would just share, oh my god, you guys, I'm having headache today and I ate Semu and I'm fine. And
Oh
do you
my.
know what started happening from that? People would see tweet where somebody shaded Semu, they would tag me to it.
Hmm.
To say, if they are dragging Semu, oh, see your best food, they are dragging it. I did not do any big thing. I did not do any big post. I was just saying, "Oh my god, I love Semo. Oh, if you want to kidnap me, just give me Semo. Oh, I'm having headache today, Semo." And yeah, Semo. And now random people will just message me and say, "Yeah, I love Semo like you too." That is personal
Ah.
brand, guys.
Uh-huh.
It's personal brand. Like that is a brand. Like right now on Twitter, anywhere they call Semo, if you have not seen my tag 5 times, it's not the original Semo they called. Just because I
Hmm.
have been saying it consistently that I love Semo, you're always leaving an
Hmm.
imprint in people's mind. Remember, I said people are watching
Hmm.
because when I make those
Yes.
posts, they don't used to like it. They don't like those posts. They don't repost those tweets. But I'm leaving an imprint in their mind that, oh, this girl loves Semo too much. Like, why will you love Semo as a person? And then, yeah, it's going. Everybody's saying, you love Semo. Why do you love Semo? Why? And I'm not even doing anything. So,
Thank you so much for adding that. I always like when people use real life experience to explain stuff. Thank you so much for adding that. Yeah, thank you so much for all the communities links, even books that Ifeoluwa mentioned. We are going to get it from her and add it to the description of this video later. If you're watching this video later, so you can just check the description. You will see it there. And thank you so much, everyone. See you in another episode of the Good Elegance. Um, Ifeoluwa wants to say something. Hi, Ifeoluwa.
no, I'm saying bye.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.